Yes.
This is a conversation I'm really excited that we're about to have.
Yep.
We've heard a lot about the benefits of Ozempic.
Yep.
We're talking about Wegovy, these what has become weight loss drugs. But now there's new information about how it could help women who are going through menopause. So how does it work, and what does it mean for any woman who may be approaching that age?
Yeah, well, we are joined now by Dr. Robbins to talk more about this. And this is a conversation I know, Shirlene, you were really, as we had our meetings in the newsroom, so many points to get to.
So let me just say this, Dr. Alicia Robbins, she's a board-certified OBGYN. She is a lifestyle physician. She also has a medical practice called the Elm, which specializes in perimenopause and menopause for women. I've never even heard of a practice that specializes in this. But Dr. Robbins, first of all, thank you for joining us. And can you please tell us right off the bat, first of all, who should be paying attention to this right now? This is not just older women, right? Talk about that first off.
Yes. Well, first of all, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun. And I'm so glad that we're bringing attention to this. So yes, Shirlene, like you said, menopause is getting more, we're talking about it more, thankfully, finally. But this also applies to women in their 40s, which is really the simplest way of when we say perimenopause is the time in your 40s or even late 30s when your hormones start to change and you start transitioning towards menopause, but it can last a decade. So really, I'm talking about women in their 40s and 50s should listen to this.
Okay.
And so there are physical changes that happen to your body, and this line of drugs has been, I guess, showing promise in addressing some of those. Can you help me understand that?
Yeah, you said you've been prescribing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. So what happens to women in their 40s and 50s is a few things. First of all, their hormones start to change. They start to decrease and fluctuate a lot in your 40s and 50s, as well as you lose muscle mass starting in your late 30s to early 40s. When you lose muscle density, when your hormones are fluctuating, and just the overall aging process, you tend to become more insulin resistant. And what happens with that is that you tend to distribute weight gain in a different way. You actually tend to distribute it in your midsection or your tummy area. So a lot of women in their 40s and 50s will notice that they're gaining weight in their front midsection. And the reason why this is important is that weight that is in your midsection is actually different than the type of fat that is under your skin. It's called visceral fat. And this type of weight is actually more of a risk factor for type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So I actually think these medications are incredibly helpful as a preventive measure before women are inclined to develop diabetes or cardiovascular disease.
Now, Doctor, I'm curious, how long can somebody be on these medications? Because whether it's Wegovy or Ozempic or Mounjaro, it's also making headlines about being effective. How long can somebody stay on that?
Well, someone can stay on it indefinitely. And traditionally, they've been used for type 2 diabetics indefinitely. But what I have been finding in my practice and what I generally tend to do is actually use them in the short term and also include lifestyle changes. So you can use them for 3 to 4 to 5 months and then incorporate more healthy lifestyle, especially once you're off of them in order to maintain the weight. I myself actually used one. I tell people about this and very transparent about it. I found it to be enormously helpful, and I've been able to maintain it being off of it for about a year now.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for also sharing that tidbit. Dr. Robbins, we only have time for one last question, but I think it's an important one because not everybody has access to these drugs. So if they don't have the access, what can they do if they're starting to see these signs of weight gain that they can't manage?
Absolutely. So the major downside of these drugs is the cost and the access. That being said, I definitely think we're going to be seeing more coverage because as research comes, we're seeing that it is beneficial. And so we're actually, the FDA just approved tirzepatide for weight loss, not just type 2 diabetes. So we're going to be seeing more coverage insurance-wise. And the other tip that you can do is when it's time for your insurance elections, you can actually elect coverage for weight loss medications when it's time to make your selections for your insurance company.
Oh, wow. Well, wow.
Very, very informative.
This was such a good segment, really.
Dr. Robbins.
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for all the work that you're doing with women, trying to raise awareness about perimenopause and menopause. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's a complicated topic, and I want women to know that there's real medical explanations for what they're feeling.
Thank you, Doctor.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.